Hello, welcome to the Movie Zone. Today we are recapping Game of Thrones, Season 1, Episode 9. Daenerys bargains with a witch doctor to save her husband, Khal Drogo, while Robb Stark in the north devises a plan to tip the scales in his favor, and his father Ned remains in the capital. For now. Be careful, spoilers ahead. Let's begin. Varys once again visits Ned in the dungeons. He tells him of Sansa's plea for mercy and Robb's march south. Ned, in frustration, asks the spider if he can free him from captivity. He says he can, but he won't. He advises Ned to confess his false crimes and bend the knee so he may live his days on the wall. Ned resists the idea, stating he is ready to give his life as a soldier. "What of your daughter's life, my lord?" Varys asks. "Is that a precious thing to you?" The Northmen are now stationed outside the Twins, seat of House Frey, the only crossing point over the Green Fork of the Trident. Catelyn enters the tower to negotiate with the fickle Walder Frey. The two bargain a deal. In exchange for safe passage and a bulk of his men, Walder Frey wants Robb and Arya to each marry one of his children. Robb consents. His army finally crosses the Twins. In Castle Black, Lord Commander Mormont rewards Jon for saving his life from the White. It's a Valyrian steel sword called Longclaw, a family heirloom of House Mormont. His son, Ser Jorah Mormont, was supposed to be its bearer, but after disgracing their house, Jorah fled for Essos and left the blade. The Lord Commander mentions he sent Alliser to King's Landing with the zombie hand Ghost tore off. Jon leaves Mormont and enters the mess hall, where Sam informs him of Robb's march south. Jon is worried about this and says he should be marching with Robb. Maester Aemon summons Jon to give some sound advice about love and honor. "Love is the death of duty," he declares. "In every man's life, there comes a day when choosing between honor and love won't be as easy as one may think." He tells Jon he empathizes with him and knows of his pain. "You do not know." Jon, now upset, replies, "No one knows." Aemon chuckles at him. He was as helpless as Jon when he heard of the ruin of his house and the slaughter of his family. "Who are you?" Jon asks. He reveals he's Aemon Targaryen, brother of Aegon and uncle of the Mad King. In Essos, Khal Drogo's condition worsens by the minute. He falls off his horse, a sign of weakness among the Dothraki. Daenerys orders the Khalasar to halt and make camp. She calls for the help of Mirri Maz Duur. The Blood Rider Kotho is unhappy with this, calling Mirri Maz Duur a witch. The Lannister War Council discusses the movements of the North when Tyrion enters and shares a meal with them. Tywin announces he will be placing Tyrion and the Hill tribesmen in the vanguard for the upcoming battle. Tyrion asks for alternatives, pointing out this might have a detrimental effect on the Lannister army. Tywin refuses to discuss it any further. Tyrion does not finish his meal and leaves the war tent. He returns to his tent where a new face awaits him, Shay, a prostitute Bronn found 3 tents down. They discuss the logistics and get down to business. Ser Jorah inspects Drogo's wound. He thinks the Great Khal is only hours away from death and offers Daenerys to escape for a sigh, as staying with the Khalasar might do her harm. Mirri Maz Duur enters the tent with Quotho. "You did this, witch," he says as he's about to draw his blade. Daenerys orders him to stop. Quotho despises Daenerys for letting the witch touch their khal and leaves with a warning. "Pray, we don't hurt you, too." Daenerys feels the hostility and asks Jorah to wear his armor. The witch agrees Drogo won't survive. Daenerys, now desperate, asks if there's anything she can do. Some magic that may miraculously save the khal. She says a certain spell might work, although some would say death is cleaner. This spell is a form of blood magic, forbidden among the Dothraki, and requires a sacrifice. They rip the tent open to bring in the Khal's horse. She starts chanting and tells others to leave. Outside, Quotho pushes Daenerys over and tries to stop Mirri Maz Duur. A fully armored Jorah draws his blade and battles with the Blood Rider. In an intense struggle, Jorah emerges victorious. Daenerys is starting to go into labor so Jorah carries her inside. Odd, demonic noises emanate from within. Tyrion, Bronn, and Shay play drinking games to relax for coming battle. Bronn reveals he knew Tyrion was once married to a girl named Tysha. Tyrion then narrates the story. While writing, he and his brother Jaime found Tysha with rapers on her heels. Tyrion brought her to the nearest inn. By morning, with the power of true love, he asked for her hand, and the two were proclaimed husband and wife. Unfortunately, it was all just a ruse, arranged by his beloved brother. After Jaime confessed, his father Tywin brought in his newlywed wife and gave her to the guards. I was 16, drunk and in love. Morning comes. Bronn wakes him up, telling him he's sleeping through the war. He fights his hangover and wades through the Lannister camp. As they charge into battle, Tyrion gets inadvertently conked out by a warhammer. He wakes up on a wagon after the battle's done. "You're a shit warrior," Bronn tells him. Tywin Lannister tells him there were 2,000 Northmen, not 20,000 they were expecting. Catelyn and Sir Roderick are on standby, awaiting Robb's fate as they wait for the conclusion of battle. The sounds of galloping horses are heard closing in, and soon enough, men on horseback bearing northern banners return from battle. They've won, and they captured the enemy commander. Jaime challenges Robb to a duel to end the war early. Robb refuses and orders his men to chain the Kingslayer. Arya is seen struggling to survive after escaping the massacre in the Red Keep. She hears they're taking Ned to the Sept of Baelor and decides to follow the crowd, climbing on a statue. She sees a smug Sansa standing beside Joffrey, the Queen, and the small council. Ned is being escorted when he spots his daughter on the statue. He starts looking for a familiar face. Fortunately, he finds Yoren, the Night's Watch recruiter, and yells the word Baelor at him. Yoren quickly catches on and makes his way to Arya. Ned confesses his false crimes and proclaims Joffrey as the one true king. While speaking to the crowd, Joffrey mentions Cersei's wish to let Ned Stark join the Night's Watch and Sansa's wish to have mercy on her father. But they have soft hearts of women, Joffrey says. He says as long as he's the king, treason shall never go unpunished, and orders his execution. The crowd roars while Arya and Sansa start panicking. Even Cersei is dumbfounded at her son's inability to think. All hell breaks loose. Ned breathes deeply as Sir Ilyn Payne unsheathes ice, Ned's own great sword. He bows and mutters a prayer as the blade drops and cuts through his neck. What do you think about this show? Tell us in the comments below. Check out other episodes on our channel and be sure to like and subscribe. See you next time.